Giga. Giga's doing things right, guys. Here's what happened today and why I bring this to you. Headline breaks out today. Giga released a dark choke against Edson Barboza. Darce choke there. Because he promised to get the knockout. Now, I don't know how much I believe that. I don't know that I believe it at all. The only time I've ever heard a fighter say anything close to that I can remember was Khabib talking about Justin Gaethje. I do believe Khabib because Khabib said he let an armbar go, and I thought I saw him let the armbar go. So when Khabib said, I do believe it. As unimaginable as that is, that you would extend a unified rules fist fight any further than you have to, I think Khabib did it. Did Giga do it? I don't know. Not my point. Here's the formula for a fight, okay? You get your fight announcement. When that announcement's made, your phone's going to go off. You're going to get contacted by some media. Your social media is going to be a lot of fun that day. You're going to get some interaction. Your teammates, your coaches, you start to get on this high. It starts to become very real. You go into the training camp. You come out of the fight. You now have 48 hours. From the moment that fight is done, largely of those 48 hours, the next 15 minutes after the fight are the most important because on that walk from your cage to clear through medical, to pick up your check and to get to your locker room, not only will you pass and decompress through the commission, be paid through the accountant, you will also intercept all media outlets. You don't know who's going to grab you. And some nights you feel about 2 inches tall. You get a victory. You're happy as can be with yourself. You make that walk, and nobody grabs you. So that's your biggest opportunity. Then have the press conference immediately following. Sunday is a travel day, and there's shows on Monday. My show is on Monday, by example. Ariel kind of started the Monday thing. Luke Thomas kind of started this Monday thing. Very relevant, though. If those guys hadn't started and there wasn't any media on Monday, then we would just skip right to what happens on Tuesday, which is the new cycle. It's very important that you understand that this is the formula. This is all that you get. The day it's signed is going to be a day. The moment it's done, plus 48 hours. And of those 48 hours, Sunday is a travel day. You get from wherever the venue was back home so that you can do the media if you get selected for the media on Monday, and then you're done. It's done. You try it bring it up, you're going to look like a fool. It doesn't matter if it's a week later. You're Al Bundy. You're Al Bundy sitting around with 2 kids and a wife on your couch talking about the big game you had in high school, right? I mean, you can only tease Al for bringing up the game from high school because so much time went by. Well, what's that amount of time? I'm here to tell you, in MMA, it's your fight plus 48 hours. Giga is removed 2 weeks and got a headline. That's awesome. That sounds simple. I realize it sounds simple. I realize that until I broke it down in the way that I just broke it down, you probably never even noticed, or if you did notice, you're wondering if he let the Darce choke go just so he could knock somebody out. That's probably the way that you took it. There's more being played here. The great ones are always playing a game that you don't see. And Giga is doing some stuff really great. And why do we like Giga, guys? Why do we like him? Because he wins? Okay, we're in America. Success matters. But it's an attitude. Giga is bringing for you in 2021 what Gilbert Burns brought to you in 2020 in terms of attitude. He wants to compete badly. He doesn't need anything for it. He already has everything he needs. It's in the form of a contract that he already signed. He didn't need to talk to anybody about anything. He didn't need to ask anybody for anything. He's going to get a plane ticket for himself plus 1. He's going to get a hotel for himself plus 1. He's going to get 4 tickets to the event. If some of his family wants to come, they don't have to go to the window and buy anything. He knows what his participation is. He can pass that on to the trainers and managers. Everybody knows what it is. He doesn't need anything. He needs a match. That is what Gilbert Burns did that took him all the way to a title shot because of you guys. You guys fell in love with Gilbert Burns. I'm just reminding you why, and I'm here to offer you that Giga is now doing that. You guys think I'm some homer for Giga? I don't know Giga. I have never met him. I have prepared for Giga one time in my life, and it was to beat him. My teammate, Austin Springer, fought him. I'm just observing him, and I appreciate this kind of stuff. I see why he's a main event. I see why he deserves to be a main event. I see why if you're the one laying out the card, that you would be able to count on someone like Giga as your main event, who's not going to pull out, who's not going to come up with an excuse, and not that needs to talk to you again while there's an active contract. And I bring you all of this to remind you, there's another guy like that. His name is Kevin Lee. And I heard a comment that there was going to be some kind of thought as to, well, Kevin was going to continue to participate. Do not forget, these guys are hard to find. These are the guys that we want. These are the guys that you want. These are the guys on the second floor of the UFC. This is who you want. The Gigas, the Kevin Lees, the Gilbert Burns. And so many times in this sport, when you do everything right, you don't get recognized for it. So many times in life. My mom used to tell me that when I was a little kid. I said, but Mom, look, I cleaned my room just like you asked me to do. And she would say, I don't reward you for doing what you're supposed to do. There's a truth to that. But there is another side. When what you're supposed to do still becomes as uncommon as it is right now within our space, we need to reward those guys. To recognize the Gilbert Burns and the Gigas. But if somebody stubs their toe like Kevin Lee, they're still in that category. They're still the guys we can count on. They're still the guys that want to compete. They're still the guys that show responsibility and honor to a contract that they've already signed. Observe what Giga's doing. Don't let these guys... Giga, you didn't know what a Giga was 2 years ago. Now he's a main event on ESPN. How do you think he got there? If you think it just happened, you're missing it. You got to go back to class. There's studying, there's maneuvers, there's managing. He's doing those things. He got a headline today about a fight that happened 2 weeks ago. He got a deal outside of the deal. The deal being you sign, you fight, 15-minute walk to your locker room, press conference that night. Within the next 48 hours, it's done. If you're even one of those guys that got selected for the Monday shows. He's got us talking about him now. We need to reward those guys. Not forget those guys.